All right, so welcome to Why Rush Racing. You're on Enduro Talk, and I'm here today with Chris Heaven. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing a-okay. It's Thursday. It's getting warm. Just realized how hot my basement feels now.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to be in the hollow ground.
The hollow ground of Enduro Talk. Yeah.
Enduro Talk. So here where so many legends have sat. So many good times have been had.
We have. So still working on Cole, but we've had pretty much all the other like super fast dudes in the area.
You're missing two. You're missing two.
Hayes Henderson, want to get him on.
We got to get Paul on the show.
Paul who?
Paul.
Pa?
Paul. Old man Hayes.
Okay, who's that?
Henderson.
Okay, yeah,
By
Hayes.
God, Henderson.
Yeah, Hayes by God Henderson. So
Paul.
Want to get him on the show, and there's a number of Logan Pierce is another one.
Number 26.
Keep harassing him to get him
Number 26.
on. Yeah, number 26. And so there's just I don't know. I'm just glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. It's awesome.
If people have kept up with Why Rush Racing well before this show, specifically winter of what 2017-18,
something like that.
I was chasing this guy around all over Southwest Missouri. Of course, he just I'd have what. No, you had good starts. You had good starts and just kind of slowly walked away from me, I think. Or did you have to fight to get around and then walk away?
I'm never good at starting. I always crash.
Okay, so that maybe that was it. I would try to keep you behind me as long as possible during the Hillbilly series, and then Chris would finally get around me, and then like, all right, see you, Chris.
I had to learn from Jeff Ott, the king
of
B-Vet.
Oh,
if you were going to win a B-Vet race, you had to pass Jeff Ott.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Jeff was you were the first usually to catch me, and then Jeff would catch me, and then but the difference there is between you and Jeff was, no offense, Jeff, hope if you're listening, is that Jeff tended to make more mistakes. Like once you got around me, I didn't see you much after that. Jeff, I saw a couple times a race, and yeah, I mean,
that's because you got faster.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So it was the number of mistakes. We'll get more on you here in a bit. So first of all, yes, again, thank you for joining me here on Enduro Talk. Really looking forward to sharing what we got going on. We got a pretty good show. In addition to having Mr. Awesome Chris Heaven here today, Quinn Wentzel, he's back on. He's back from Europe, and he had a great time over there last weekend over in Portugal. And so I'm going to find out all about what he did and what he has coming up. Look for that in about 20 minutes or so. And then we'll talk about some of the area racing and then what's coming on nationally. So, because last weekend was Mother's Day, and I think for the most part, people tended to schedule around Mother's Day.
You ride Saturday on Mother's Day weekend.
That's right. Or if you're me, you just still broke and you don't ride. But so, yeah, that's what's going on. And then if you're watching right now, awesome, live, I should say, that's awesome. You remember Facebook, YouTube. If you're listening to this later on or watching this later on, if you want to get involved in the show, that's the way to do it. And you know, there's comments on YouTube and on Facebook where you guys can chime in, ask your questions, give your comments, give your short stories, whatever. And I want to get your input on our show. And if additionally, just as far as getting input goes, if there's something like you'd like to see different, or if you would like me to, just not do or to do, shout it out. Let me know either on the show or send me a DM later on or whatever, right? So I'm here for you guys. I want to make this as entertaining as possible for you while still having fun doing it on this end. And like, I make things a little simpler for me. Like if you notice down below, I can't have the wrong name because now all it says is just post your comments or questions, right? So, sorry, Chris.
That's fine.
But I kept messing that up. I'm like, well, let's just get rid of it then.
I'm not Ian Hanners.
Yeah, you're not Ian Hanners. You're not Tanner Hunt. You're not everybody else I tended to mess up. So anyways, that's what's going on. And then likewise, share, let your friends know about it. That's, I try to make good content, and I can only... I put this out there. It's up to you guys to help grow it, right?
I want you to trash talk. That's all he's getting at. Just throw some trash talk up on the screen. We'll get going. Yeah,
so Craig Stagner, ORP TV, has been trying to get results from Hillbilly Series, etc., with no luck. Craig, actually, I want to get a hold of you because I think you'd be a fun guy to have on. You're not necessarily a motorcycle racer, but I think you are, if I'm not mistaken. Craig has I think ORP-TV. He has like a TV show with, I think, have you heard of it at all?
No.
I haven't watched it or seen it, but it's like area racing, like tends to do more with 4 wheels and on like smoother surfaces, not through the woods on rough stuff. But yeah, Craig, I need to reach out to you because I would love to have you. Not today, obviously. Chris is the perfect guest for today, but I would like to have you over here beside me for at least one of these shows. But yeah, we can talk about all kinds of stuff. Oh, you did? Oh, so he came from motocross. Well, see, we don't talk about motocross here. This is all off woods, but he came from MX and BMX. Oh yeah. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, share, talk about it. That's how this show is going to grow, and post your comments, questions, and all that stuff. And we want to get you guys involved in this show. And likewise, if you do want to come on the show, like Chris here did, just give me a shout out too. I'm more than willing to have people that want to come on the show. So that'd be awesome. Chris.
Yes.
Thank you for coming here today.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I can
Glad to be here.
Glad I can torture you, and I got you for the next hour, and we're just going to see how much trouble we can get in, all right?
I'll try to behave. If I drop an F-bomb, I apologize ahead of time.
Uh-oh, I don't have a beeper, so let's try to refrain from those. But, so, first of all, how old are you?
44.
Are you really?
Yes.
Wow, okay. I was trying to guess, older or younger, and the beard. Like
the beard.
You never know. I mean, I guess now that you're here today, and I'm like, okay, you got a little more gray.
Yeah,
but
I'm old.
I would not. I was thinking you're probably a little closer. I was thinking in your 30s. To be honest with you.
That's awesome.
But
thank you.
But no. So, and then so what? I guess first of all, what everybody wants to know is what bike are you riding today?
I have a 2017 KTM 300 XCW PDS.
So you have a 300 XCW?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The non-racer one.
Yeah, and then so because I have the 2017 XC 250F.
Yep.
So it's like apples and oranges almost.
Valves versus mixing gas.
Well, that, and you have the PDS. I have the linkage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We both have black frames, I guess.
Yes, I have a black frame.
And then so there's some commonalities, but I guess we both have 18-inch rear wheels.
Yes. Yes.
So variety. But so how do you like? So do you have 2 bikes or just one?
I think I've got 5 or 6.
Oh, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So you have the 300. That's your daily driver then?
Yeah, that's the one that's running right now.
Oh, okay.
I've got some Yamaha YZ250s, and I got a Honda CRF 450. Don't like it.
Yeah. Well, just because it's too much bike, or it's too heavy, or what?
Every time you kick start it, it spits up parts, and I'm just tired of it.
Oh, really? Does it have an electric start, or?
No, you have to kick it. You got to have a mule leg to kick it.
Oh, man.
And it's a 03, so it's really old.
Yeah.
And it's a beast.
It's a beast?
Yeah, it's too much power. Way
Yeah.
too much. You can't like it. It's just not fun.
And then so you said you got 2 Yamahas. Is that what you said?
I got a pair of 06 YZ250s.
Oh, you do? So you can kind of swap parts and kind of keep one running?
That was the idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the idea. But Hayes, by God, Henderson's got my engine, so.
Oh. So at least you didn't destroy your own engine, right?
No, I let Hayes destroy it.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sure he did a thorough job.
Yeah. And then, okay. And so that's one thing I'm always impressed by you. Is like when we were racing, for the times you're behind me, you're always like, man, your rear end's bouncing all over the place. Or I don't know what it's about my old 250 I had.
Yeah.
But you weren't the only one that told me that.
It was bouncing.
And I didn't feel it. I don't know. My bike I'm riding may be doing it still. I don't know. But you were like, yeah, so you need to do this, that, or the other with your shocks. And I was always impressed by that. Like, you had this, like, sense of, like, how to do things. And like, you actually rebuild your own forks.
I do my own forks, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I do not want to touch. I have no idea. Like, how do you take it apart? I don't know.
Race Tech makes a book.
Yeah.
Called the Race Tech Bible.
Yeah.
And if you buy it and you read it, and if you want to bad enough, and you watch some YouTube videos, you can do it. It's not rocket science.
Do you just spill coolant Or not coolant, fork oil all over the place?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. See,
Yes.
yeah, my wife would not be happy.
I have a lot of kitty litter in my garage
Oh, okay.
on the floor.
Oh, I didn't know that. Jeff's Craig's neighbor. Oh, and according to Josh, or no, Pa. Oh, he's here. So you love your Honda.
Yeah, Paul loves his Honda.
No, you love your Honda. He says, Paul Henderson
He loves his Honda. No, I don't. Paul rode it. I let him ride it one day instead of working. I let him ride for a little bit.
does he work with you?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
And then what is your business?
We do heating and air conditioning and mechanical contracting and pools.
Pools.
Yes.
So
we do some pool work.
what is it? Is it heating and air season right now, or is it pool season right now?
It's both.
Both.
Yeah, it's been pool season all May, but today it turned into air season.
Oh, it did. It's getting warm. Getting calls.
Yep. So
okay.
the pools are about to go to the wayside.
And how do we find you?
I have a Facebook page called Eco Temp. Is my name of my company.
Tent? T-I-N-T?
No, Eco Temp. T-E-M.
Temp.
Yep.
Sorry. I was
Yep,
like,
yep,
tent. Okay.
Yep.
Eco Temp. T-E-M-P. So Facebook. If
Facebook it.
If you want to support those that are out there duking it out with us, Eco Temp.
Eco Temp.
Of course, like right now, I'm sure you're like, man, I need more work, aren't you? It's that time of year where it's swamped. Call them in like what, February? I don't know.
We got to keep Paul busy. We can't let Paul sit around.
And so I know you primarily from the Hillbillies. Yeah, we probably race the most there, but I'm sure is that the only series you tend to race, or do you have others too?
No, I raced the AXC in Arkansas quite a bit.
Okay. Because Hayes tends to race those as well.
Yeah, he's the king of the AXC.
Okay.
And then I've started racing some state races. The last couple times I think I've tried to do them.
Okay.
They're fun.
And then so AXC, how long are those races?
An hour 40.
Hour and 40?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's AXC is a summer series. Arkansas Cross Country is what it stands for.
Yep.
And then so I guess hour 40, how do you like the 2-hour race?
Every time I race 2 hours, seems like I race 2 hours, 20 minutes. So it's pretty exhausting.
you come through like 156.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Where you can't not go again. You got to go on the next lap, and you're like,
Yeah. I'm like, well, hopefully nobody else like comes through and I don't get caught and lapped.
But then Jeff Ott comes and you got to go.
Yeah. Jeff Ott or Casey. Because last season in the Missouri Hare Scrambles, I would get good starts.
Yep.
Get a good lead, and then Casey would pass me, and then or Jeff would pass me, and then Aaron would pass me, and like once those guys got around me, and like I never saw them again. It's so frustrating. That's just the way I race, I guess. And so that it's good. Well, I sprint too hard at the beginning, and then I start to struggle.
Yep.
And so those guys. And so same with you. I'd get out in front of you, and then you'd come passing around. So I guess this summer then, are you like what have you done to Kilburn Woods 2 weeks ago if it wouldn't have gotten rained out?
I would have gone. Yeah.
And then have you raced any hare scrambles or Arkansas hare scrambles this year?
I raced.
Tell Doug to call me. We'll put him on the show.
Yeah, Doug Gardner, you need to call in. Come on the show. No, I raced the first few AXCs this year. I bumped up to the AXC2 class, which is a second row.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do they have XC2? I mean, is that like an A class then, or do they have ABC?
They call it A Open, I think, but it's just AXC2.
Okay.
It's just they don't really have as many riders down there as what we have up here. So
okay.
If you want to compete with those guys, you got to get up there in the front.
Well, you even jumping up to A Vet and Hillbilly, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to congratulate you on your finish on the B Vet. So now you get to go to A Vet too.
We'll see about that. I would like to.
You're good.
I need to tell you what though, man. Like I thought I was gonna jump on over to the Blackjacks and try to be top 3 at least. No,
it's a nationwide series. I mean, it's a big state.
I'm getting spanked over there. Like I think I got fifth at this last race. And I did try to break my back and I hurt my wrist, but still I got like fifth, and I was like, geez, what's going on? And it's a long race.
Yes. The blackjacks are awesome. I've only got to do one.
Yeah. Well, they're fun and I'm really enjoying them. I wish they were, out of the way. Well, the super long one, which is like Red Canyon, it's like in Western Texas, 10-hour drive. Like, forget it, not doing it. Then I did Callisburg. That's a short 6-hour drive. And so Justin, I see your AVET sandbagger. Who's the AVET sandbagger? Him?
No.
Yeah, and then you're absolutely right there, Justin. He says always go the extra lap. It's a couple places in the overall, and that's almost always true. You're gonna pass somebody. That's my mentality. Is I don't know, Chris, what's going on with him 10 minutes up ahead of me, but maybe he lost his chain, and I'm gonna pass him on this lap. I tell myself that until I come through, and it says I didn't. It just is what it is.
Yep. Wise words from Jeff Ott.
Well, no,
you can have a life in the BVET class. You cannot have a life in the AVET class.
I've heard that too. But of course, lately, I've really gotten kind of hooked on fitness, like cardio. I've been working a lot on cardio. I was kind of working on weights a bit, and then I hurt my wrist and gave me a good excuse not to. And I don't know if people can see me. I'm not that built of a guy, and I tend to stick to things that I'm good at, which is like running or cycling. And so I haven't been lifting the weights because I have a decent excuse not to. But I did a duathlon Tuesday.
Really?
A run, bike, run, yeah. And then went out for like a 3-mile run yesterday. And tomorrow I hope to get like a 25 mile bike in. And I'm like, this is for, not because, I keep trying to remind myself, you're doing this not because you enjoy the bike or the running. You do this for the motorcycling. And so,
yeah.
But, so what type of riding do you tend to do?
Play riding.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I have a few people that I can kind of message and be like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And you want to go riding? And their answer is almost invariably yes.
Yep.
You're one of them.
Yep. I'll go anytime.
And then Corey's the other one that I can usually find somebody to ride with.
Yeah.
And I recommend to anybody, don't go. Chris. You as in Chris. I get it now. All right. So Chris, is the sandbagger. No, don't go riding by yourself, people. It's not safe, especially if you're out in Chadwick or some humongous place where you can easily get lost or whatever. But find people to ride with. Message me and we'll try to hook you up or whatever. And then, but you tend, so Chadwick, why, is that where you go? Do you go to Soggy Bottom too, or?
Primarily Chadwick. Me and old Wentzel Tompkins been riding out at HHR quite a bit, and Steve Minner.
Okay.
But we're Chadwickers. We're Chad whacking almost every Sunday.
There you go. Yeah. So I rode with you guys a few times, and I tell people, I say this every time we talk about it, is I do a lot less damage at my bike on my bike at Hardwood Hills than going out with you guys and finding some just gnarly stuff. And you guys you guys go boop boop boop, and I'm like boom bang, and not quite as smooth as you guys are. I'm working on it, but
you're getting there.
If you can be a good Chadwick rider, like it's like going to a hillbilly race or any place is a breeze.
Yes,
and that was one thing I thought I was pretty hot stuff, and these hair scrambles, and then I go ride with you guys, and it just kicked my butt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, no wonder Chris makes it look so easy when I'm following him. Because you're one of those frustratingly fast guys. Because no, you are. I'm behind you, right? And I'm like, you're not doing anything super cool or fancy.
Nope.
You're just super smooth and you're not sliding or getting on the throttle or anything. It's just you're like just consistent. Like you're like a Ryan Dungey out there and just
Chad whacking.
Yeah, just like, hey, this is an easy version of Chadwick. Let's roll.
Oh yeah. So. Wait till Doug Gardner builds another racetrack aside from Soggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Soggy hair scrambler. But I thought that was bad. Wait for the next one.
Don't talk too bad about it. People don't like it when they get too hard. But no,
it'll be fun.
it is. No, seriously. I will say, I did not like, just because I don't like a ton of speed, going down the Jeep trail at Soggy Bottom. Down that, I'm talking about the long straight one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That scares the bejeebies out of me. I like going up it.
Car batteries and baby heads.
What's that?
Rocks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind going up it so bad.
Nothing's anchored.
No, yeah, for sure. Justin again says, I've never been to, really? Justin says he's never been to Chadwick. I live closer to Park Hills. How do they compare?
We'll come down and find out.
I would say they don't. It's a whole lot rockier. I mean, yeah, there's rocks at Park Hills. You've raced that. You've raced that Soggy Bottom. It's like Soggy Bottom, but rougher.
Not groomed.
Yeah. Yeah, Soggy Bottom's smooth compared to Chadwick, to be honest. I mean, would you agree with that?
No, there's spots at Soggy that are bad.
But they're not as worn in, though.
No, but there's stuff in there that nobody ever rides, and it's bad.
Well, that's...
So, I mean, Chadwick's the same way. There's some really good stuff at Chadwick, and there's some bad at Chadwick.
Yeah.
But I used to hate riding at Soggy because it was so tough. It was so slick, and there was so much off camber, and...
well, I guess that's because it's not as established.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. Well, it's rough in there.
Really? Yeah, Justin, I can't believe you haven't been to Chadwick. Yeah, you need to come down here, bud. We'll get you set up.
Yes.
For sure. And then you'll be back up to AA in no time. Craig, maybe he can stick it. Oh, yeah. He'll have to keep you on the fire roads. No, so I tried taking my Oscar. You saw him. He's 7 years old now. When he was like 5, we went to Chadwick on a little PW50. I quickly learned that is not
cool.
Not a place to take a kid with a PW50. I mean, there are even there's a few little sections where there's like brick interlock pavers.
Mm-hmm. Those are worse than anywhere else.
But then there's a few little areas where there's like just kind of like, I don't know, like up on the ridge and just kind of smooth. But everywhere else, there's
Bad.
like 4-inch, 3-inch rocks everywhere.
Bad.
And I was trying to work with Oscar, and Oscar was super cool about it. Just trying to go down the trail. 4.5 hours. They have an excellent campground, Justin, at Chadwick. They do. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
They do. It's paved, so if it's downpouring even, you're not going to be walling around in the mud.
Yep.
The driving area is paved. Not
the day camp.
Yeah. And then
day camp.
Excellent day camp, KC Pavilion and all that. Oh, yeah, the day camp, the whole area there, Camp Ridge. The whole thing's paved there.
Day camp is the best because you can get so far away from the truck. You can go clear to the other side of the park.
Wait, which one's day camp?
The first one.
Okay,
Camp Ridge.
Yeah, Camp Ridge.
Yep. You can get a long ways from the truck.
Yeah.
A disturbingly long ways from the truck if you have some mechanical problem.
Yes. Or fuel issues, or when you start to get low and you're like, how far is it?
Yep.
But no, so I took Oscar out there on PW50, and I was thinking about like rock relative size. I'm like, oh my God, it's like what he's doing there is me going through like this boulder field right now.
Yeah.
And so kudos to Oscar for
surviving
it and not complaining too much.
Yep.
And then shame on me for taking him out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Stick to the dad's farm, I guess.
Yeah, pasture riding's best when you're a kid.
Yeah, for sure. But he enjoys it, so we just go follow cow trails now out and around the farm. So you've done a lot of racing, or a decent amount of racing.
No, I'm a play rider.
Play rider?
Yeah.
What's the most memorable race for you, though?
I knocked myself out in Thayer at a hillbilly in 2007. That was the one I don't remember, but would be the most memorable.
So Thayer, so down near...
It's a motocross track.
Okay.
It was a moto track with some woods, and...
Jeff's on now, Jeff 5. Jeff, we've been talking really bad about you. So whatever you do, if you've been watching, don't go back and watch this later on.
Oh, you got to watch it, Jeffro.
No, do not. You'll never talk to me again, I swear.
Come on, it ain't that bad. He's the king of B-Vet.
So, anyway, so Thayer, knocked yourself silly?
I knocked myself out, and that was 2 motos back in them days. The hillbilly was 45, and then you waited an hour or 2, and then it was a 45. And the first moto, I had knocked myself out, and by the second moto, I don't know what I did. And I got in my truck, and I drove somewhere down into central Arkansas instead of going home.
So you were not in condition to drive.
I was concussed.
Oh man. Yeah.
Got home about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
My wife thought I was dead.
Yeah. She probably called the highway patrol and everybody else. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was not cool.
Huh.
It stopped me from racing for a while.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, I guess what's the most adventurous play ride or trip you've been on?
I went and rode what they used to call the Indian Nations Trail several times down in Oklahoma.
Okay.
It was about 80 miles around. And I would go with a guy I worked for named Timmy. People that have rode with Tim Birch, they know. Sometimes you make it back before day dark, and sometimes you don't.
So not the best. You didn't have to always have the best plan.
No. We rode up after riding, I don't know how many miles, we rode up a divided highway like Highway 65 at night with no headlights on the wrong side of the road because it had a concrete divider we couldn't get across.
Oh, no.
And we rode that way for about an hour.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, it was terrifying. I actually wanted to get arrested that night. I was like, this would be one way to end it. You know, it would just be like instead of something else, maybe the cops will take me to a safe place and impound my bike and I can come get it and pay the fine. But no, we made it back.
Unfortunately, you made it back just fine.
Yeah, Timmy's awesome. He's fun to ride with. If you ever get the opportunity,
take advantage of it.
Take advantage and don't worry about getting lost because it's a promise.
Well, they have things called like GPSs now.
Don't take a GPS. Don't do it. Go to White Rock. Don't take a GPS. Just pack some granola bars, fill your gas tank up, and cross your fingers.
So wait, is it White Rock?
That's another place you can go that's big.
Oh, okay. I've went racing there.
Yep, White Rock is fun.
That was odd. The first time I've ever raced. I guess it was during a transfer on a paved trail or paved road. I mean. And I was like, oh, I hope there's no sheriff's deputies around or anything because I don't know how legal this is. All right, yeah, we got the MX Guru watching. Hey guys, he says, watching from West Virginia. Hey, thank you for watching. And MX Guru and everybody else out there, if you're watching, be sure to share this, let people know about it. Once again, that's how we get this channel to grow and share the love. So say, hey, good little show over here down in Southwest Missouri called Enduro Talk with Wire Rush Racing. And just say, hey, just search Enduro Talk. And I think that's the easiest way to find it.
Facebook it.
Facebook, Enduro Talk or Wire Rush Racing. Wire Rush right here behind me on the sign. So when people ask, I say that because like they think Y, like the letter Y. I'm like, no, WHY. I couldn't keep things simple. I have to make it difficult. So anyways, this past weekend, did you keep up with any of the racing at all?
No, I've been too busy working. Too many things have been going on.
Okay. Well, so I was all over my Instagram or whatever. Bob. Hey, Bob. We're getting ready to call. I don't know if he's who, but a relation to you, Ian here, or Quinn in just a minute here. So I was keeping on the Instagram or whatnot, the feeds, because like people like Quinn and the Johnny Walkers and the Graham Jarvises of the world were all over in Portugal in a little town called Porto. And so, I'm going to give Ian I don't know why that's popping in my head. Quinn a call and see how he's doing. So just let's give us a half a moment here and we'll get him on the phone. So yeah, that's why. I know I won't get into it.
Hello.
Quinn, how are you today? Hello? Oh, Quinn, this is Charlie Hawkins. Did I just drop him? I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, I did. How the heck did I do that? Try this again.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Quinn. Welcome to Enduro Talk with me, Charlie, and we got Chris here as well today. How are you?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Good. Going quite well. And first of all, to the listening audience, who we have here is Quinn Wentzel. He is racing with Beaver Creek Cycle Husqvarna, and yeah, he is a hard enduro trials guru. Am I close there on that, there, Quinn? What is going on? Sorry, frustrating for me. Yeah, I lost him.
Now, welcome to the Racer X Exhaust podcast broadcast.
Nope. Okay. We can do this. I'm going to stop moving my phone. I'm going to set it right here.
Hello.
Quinn, I apologize.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I think
Sorry,
I was moving.
I don't know what's going on there.
I think it's my fault. I'm moving my phone too much while I'm trying to talk to you, and it gets cross signal, and it just wants to drop you for some reason. So, what I was saying, you are racing. You're a hard enduro trials guru. We had you on. I think it was like show 5 or 6 or something like that earlier on, right after the rev limiter. Talked to you there, and this past weekend you were over in Portugal. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We were out in Portugal for the Extreme XL Lagares Extreme Enduro.
And so Lagares, that's how you say it, XL Lagares?
Yeah, that's the name of the race.
And then so as a part of that, so you were racing in, is it Porto, Portugal?
Yeah, the big city there is called Porto, and then the smaller town where most of the race takes place is called Lagares, which is what the race is named after.
Okay. So what town was it where you were going like through the streets?
That was downtown Porto. So they do that portion of the prologue through Porto, which is about a half hour from Lagares.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, so on your Instagram, and I don't know if you've posted something recently, but in your most recent post, you're doing like this wheelie, like right through the middle of this like street, and there's people just kind of chilling in this cafe, and nobody's really paying any mind to you.
Yeah.
For one, is that either staged or there's so many people that are wheeling through Porto all the time that nobody really seems to care?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just that particular day there was motorcycles everywhere, and so I just figured it'd be a good time for a photo op. So yeah, I just kind of did that, and like you said, I think nobody really paid any mind to it. I don't think there's too many rules going on there.
It's a free for all. Yeah, and then so yeah, you kind of alluded to it. So it's a three event race. Is it 3 days or is it like 2 of the events in one day, or how did that work?
Yeah, it's 3 days overall. Friday they have an enduro cross under the lights in Lagares, and then they have the city race in Porto on Saturday, and then the main big race is on Sunday.
Okay, and then you were in all 3 races then.
Yes.
Okay, so like the enduro cross, is that more like a traditional like we imagine it, just straight up enduro cross in like some kind of a little arena, or what was that?
Yeah, it's pretty traditional enduro cross. It's outside, and they have like some stadium seats set up and some lights and stuff, and yeah, it's basically just you have to race all 3 events, to make it if you're racing the race, and it's the first 2 are like prologues, and they're basically just to get your start position for Sunday, and mostly I would say for the fans also, because the fans there's a lot of people out there. So
I guess there are a lot of people. And is that one of the bigger crowds that you've ever raced around, or is the TKO still bigger, or how does that compare?
No, this was way bigger, I'd say. Just thousands and thousands of people everywhere, all 3 days. It was pretty insane.
Yeah. Wow. And then so is this the first, have you raced overseas before?
No, I've been overseas for some trial stuff, but I've never competed in Europe or anything like that. So yeah, this was the first time.
Okay. When you say you didn't even compete in trials, or you were just over there doing seminars, or what?
I was an alternate for the U.S. Trials Designations team, so we were over in Portugal and Spain and Andorra and stuff. So I've been kind of in that area before, but I didn't compete because I was just I was the alternate. So
Oh, okay. You're like, hey, go break a leg, and literally.
yeah, I was just there for backup.
All right on. And so, because I was just watching, some of the footage. Johnny Walker. Of course, he took a swim, but he had a pretty good little GoPro footage of the I guess is it the prologue right, the city race. And I was like, wow, there are people everywhere. And then the other question is, so you're racing through the city, which is, I don't know if people know this or not, but that's like a national heritage site. And it's one of the oldest cities in Europe, like period, like one of the oldest. Did you worry at all about like damaging any of the buildings you're riding like right next to?
No, I mean, not really. But the whole time I was thinking like, wow, it's pretty crazy. They just let you tear through the streets of this city, like, like up the stairs. And like, I did think it was a little, odd, but at the same time, it's a huge event. So I feel like that kind of, helps with the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the other thing is watching it, there's like going through these cities, ton of stairs, right? You're going up and down all the time. And it seems like inevitably there's always a handrail, like stair handrail, like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Are for the most part, your handlebars above those handrails? I couldn't quite tell. And was there a risk of like catching that and just kind of sending yourself for a ride, like without your bike?
Yeah, some of them were pretty close to the bars, but there was definitely that risk. There's a one spot going down after the first climb. You start going down and it gets super skinny, and there's stone fixtures everywhere, like sticking out. And then one side there's handrails. And so, yeah, I was a little nervous about that, like mostly with the foot pegs, and your feet, cause bars coming down, holding the handrails and stuff. So it was definitely a little sketchy, and but it was it was all good.
I guess it seems like to me like a very unique racing experience. Have you had anything that's really compared to that in the past?
I can't say so. It was probably the craziest / coolest thing I've ever done was racing that city prologue for sure.
That's awesome. And then of course I just wanted to ask you, so you guys go through like these floating, is it like, it's kind of not even really a dock, it's just like these floating platforms. People may know Johnny Walker, who's one of the top hard enduro racers in the world. He ended up cutting a corner a little too sharp, and his front wheel made it around this 90-degree turn, but his rear wheel did not, and it slid off, and it took him and the whole bike with it. Did you know anybody else that took a little too many risks on those floating platforms and took a swim?
Not this year, I don't think. I think he was the only one. I'm sure there's probably been people in the past, but yeah, I mean, they were sketchy. They were not stable at all. And
did they get slick or anything? Were they? I guess they were dry, weren't they, for the most part?
Well, no, because when you rode over them like fast, they would sink down like right to the level of the water, just about. So the water would come up over them. So yeah, they were all pretty wet. And before, when you're out there doing just your single lap time, and it was like they weren't you were just racing against the clock. They had a teeter totter on those floating things, so it was more sketchy. So you come off the teeter totter, yeah, and you would drop, and the weight coming off the teeter totter would like sink you a few inches down in the water.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was definitely a little hairy.
I'm out.
Well, I would do what Quinn did, is use somebody else's bike.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So did you rent a bike, or what did you use?
Yeah, I actually got a bike off Graham Jarvis. He has a couple bikes that he uses for his tours and his schools and stuff, but it was pretty bone stock. So
okay. And then what bike were you on?
It was a 2019 T300 TPI bike.
And that was one thing I saw on your Facebook post. I was kind of surprised to hear you say is, I guess, is that the first time you've really ridden a TPI or a fuel injected 2-stroke?
Yeah, that was the very first time. I still have a 2018. I have 2 of them here in the States, specifically for the carburetors. So,
Yeah. So,
yeah, I haven't ridden one yet.
So at least for now, you're not a huge fan of the TPI, right? Because I guess is it a little too snappy for you still, or you're just not used to it, or what was the difference between your carbureted versus the TPI?
Yeah, I think it was just a mixture of I have never ridden it. I didn't have any time to practice on it. The course was unbelievably slippery. Like you can't even compare any slipperiness to it.
Okay.
So
well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say because you said that too. It was super slippery, and so because I was thinking, well, that's one of the things they always say about the rocks at TKO, and then of course again where last time we talked was talking about the rev limiter where it was also super slicker than both of those situations.
Oh yeah, like those races were. I hate to say it, but those races were like a walk in the park compared to this race. It was just insane. Like I said, it's hard to describe. Anybody who's raced it would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I mean, I think that just came into play with the bike, and just in those specific conditions was really, really hard to get traction. Even though traction was slim, like it's still there, and like I being on the East Coast and stuff, I'm in a trials rider. I feel like I'm pretty good at finding traction and stuff, and I like those slick races like TKO and Rev Limiter, and so I was looking forward to it. And then I just got out there on the track, and I just felt like I couldn't do anything. And I do think it was just me not being used to the bike and the snappiness of it, and how quickly it broke traction and stuff. So
yeah.
Do they do any work to your suspension on that bike, or was it just bone stock?
No, it was completely bone stock. I mean, I messed with the clickers a little bit, but it was rough. I think that came into play, just not having proper suspension, and you'll never have be able to get used to a bike like your own, especially if you only have. I think I rode around on it for like 20 minutes before the races. So,
yeah, that would be kind of scary. So, I mean, like during I would think during the enduro cross section, a lot of times you'll double the tire jumps or whatever. And I don't know well, first of all, I would never do that because I don't have the skill. But going in with like a bone stock suspension doesn't seem like something that would be too conducive.
No, you don't see KTMs or Husqvarnas or any of those European bikes usually without some sort of suspension stickers on the forks.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
But so how did you actually do for let's go first through the enduro cross and then into the city prologue. How did you do there?
So the enduro cross, I later found out so what they did was they took the pros and split them into like 5 groups. And then I didn't know. I thought we were racing. They put 10 people on the line, and I thought we were racing against each other. It was super confusing, to be honest. Everything was in Portuguese. Nobody knew like the format or what was going on, and it was really hard to figure out what was going on, to be honest. So I later found out that we were not racing against each other for the semifinals. We were taking the fastest lap times, and then that went into that got you into, it was like a kind of like an elimination bracket. So they did like a qualifier, semifinal, and then a final. And so I don't even know, honestly. I found out I got the 3rd fastest lap time in my race long after the race was over, and I never got called up to the line for the semi. So I don't, like I said, it was all in Portuguese. I kind of just stood around.
You're just waiting for a Quinn Wentzel. Please come to the starting line.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was all just like
Or it was more like
my name.
some in Spanish, Quinn Wentzel, and then like something in Spanish
Senor
or
Quinn.
Portuguese again.
Right. No, that's no joke. Like that's exactly what it was. As soon as I heard my name, I knew I was supposed to go somewhere, and I never heard my name, so I was just like, whatever. Maybe I didn't do too well, but I found out I had the third fast lap time when I looked at the results. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah. So
you missed your race then, I guess. Was it semifinal? You're saying?
well, I don't, like I said, I don't know. I checked. I never got caught up for any of the other races because I was standing down there and kind of waiting around and trying to see, but like they didn't have any papers posted, nothing like that. It was all like, it was kind of unorganized, honestly, but unorganized and in a different language. So
yeah.
Kind of like a hillbilly.
Yeah, and so like I said, I'm still really confused with the whole situation, but I just went on to the city prologue on Saturday, and that was, like I said, just racing against the clock. So out of all the 60 some pros or however many, they took the top fastest 10, and then they did like a final race. That's where you saw Johnny Walker go in the water.
Oh, okay.
But so for that, again, like I didn't know my time until hours after the event. I want to say I was in the high 30s or something like that, or 40 some, I can't remember, but it wasn't too good, to be honest. I was really like watching my GoPro footage and stuff. I think I was just like taking it all in and not really worried about going as fast as I could. And looking back on it, I could have done a whole heck of a lot better. And I think I was just a little nervous. I got some bad arm pump and stuff because you didn't have a chance to warm up. You're smack dab in that city, so super tight and like hard to stay loose and stuff. And obviously never ridden on stairs or anything like that. And so I think I was just a little tense and didn't do too well there either. But yeah, so like somehow they got the Enduro Cross and the City Prologue together to get my starting position for Sunday, which ended up being right around 40th or so.
Okay.
So wasn't too solid. Wasn't too happy with it.
One thing about the City Prologue is not a lot of passing opportunities. Were you able to make passes, or were you at a point?
No, because they started you 30 seconds apart, I believe. So that really wasn't an issue.
Okay, good.
Like they sent you out one by one.
And how many laps did you do?
Just one lap, and it was right around 6 minutes, I think, to do the whole. Or that was what mine was, at least.
Okay.
Right around 6 minutes, I'd say. So yeah, just one lap. So it was pretty quick, but it doesn't take long to get arm pump when you're doing, obstacles, tight obstacles like that. So
probably over gripping a bit or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then so you're right up for the third day, the main race. What happened? What I guess you started. I couldn't find you in results finishing anywhere, but you did a few laps. So you actually did start the race.
Yeah, no, I did I was, I started off okay and starting to get in the groove and making some passes, it wasn't too hard off the bat. And then we dropped into the first creek and like, man, it was like pure ice. The rocks are like almost like slate lava rocks. I don't even know what they are, but just like super smooth and just, like I said, unbelievably slippery. So I dropped into that first creek and I'm like, wow. I was like flailing around and I just couldn't get, couldn't ride with my feet on the pegs and just wasn't very controlled. And right then and there, I kind of knew like, man, it's probably going to be a long day. And I really didn't want to think like that, but
It's hard to keep those thoughts out, though.
Yeah, like that's exactly what happened, and I just wasn't comfortable on the bike, like I said before, and it was just kind of controlling me rather than myself controlling the bike, and I just fell on one of a small. It was like a ledge. Is that main creek right where there's a ton of spectators and there's this huge ledges. It was in the bottom. It was in the beginning of that creek. I tipped over on one of the smaller ledges and ripped the left grip off.
So you actually removed, like, the grip came off?
Yeah, it was a lock-on grip. It was a Pro Taper lock grip, so it has like that plastic and then the rubber on the outside. And I broke the plastic off, and so it was just hanging on by the donut area, like the donut of the grip.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was hanging off, so I just had to keep like stretching it out and like slipping it back on the handlebar.
Oh, wow.
And so it was completely turning. It wasn't even on the bike really. So I rode like that for a bit and really struggled. So I had to stop and fix it. I had some safety wire and some electrical tape on my back. So I was able to fix it, but it was still super early. It was like really early on in the race. So when I stopped, people were just blowing past me. Like the race hadn't had a chance to spread out too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I got passed by, God, I don't even know how many people, and it only took me probably 4 minutes to fix it, but it just felt like an eternity. And I just got passed by a bunch of guys and I got behind, and I was hoping to make up ground in the tough stuff where I know I'm better, and it just never ended up happening. It just was bottlenecks got bad, and the line choices were slim, and obviously, like I said, it was so slippery everywhere, and I just wasn't able to ride like I knew how. And I just made for a long day of pushing and struggling and trying to get around people that were in my way and stuff. And
so how many laps did you complete?
I didn't even make it. The track was, I think, roughly 30 miles or something.
Okay.
And 30 miles of the gnarliest creeks and terrain you can imagine. So it's not like you're just cruising. It was literally like half the stuff you're inching your way along. So I made it to right to the end of the first lap. It took me about a little under 5 hours, like right around over 4 hours to do. And at that point, like I should have made 2 laps at that point. So I just got way behind, and didn't end up being able to go out for the second lap because I had timed out. The time limit was, I think, 4.5 hours or something. So I just was out there too long. Didn't complete the first lap anywhere near fast enough, as I should. So, but yeah, I mean, I pretty much did the whole track, so it was really insane.
Well, you got a taste of it at least, and so maybe learn something for next time. Now, how would you practice for something like that in the future? Do you have something comparable that you know of?
I mean, I train in slippery creeks all the time, but I've never experienced anything that slippery before. So I don't know. I think it's just a mixture of trying to better up my intensity and stuff like that to just help with it. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not one to search for excuses, but a lot of guys were doing a lot better than myself in the slippery stuff. And so I don't really know, to be honest, what was going on. But
you need to wait till the creeks freeze, and then they're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, for real. Like it was comparable to ice for sure. So.
And then, so are you competing in any other World Enduro? I can't say it. World Enduro Super Series. Are you competing in any other races this year?
Yeah, I'm doing doing the big one, Erzberg, coming up June 1st. So yeah, I mean, this was a huge learning experience, and hopefully will better prepare me for that race, and hopefully I can go out and redeem myself, and get my little bit of confidence back.
So are you going to kind of work with Graham Jarvis again on getting a bike, or what are you going to do there?
We're going through some different guys for a bike that it's going to be the same bike, I think, but I'm gonna at least get my suspension over there and some other parts that make me feel more at home on the bike.
More like you're on your bike, yeah. And then so that's last time we talked. You said you liked the hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
The prologue for the Erzberg by no means is super challenging. It's probably challenging. I haven't ridden it, but I've kind of watched some GoPro footage. But it's super fast. How and then it's a pretty important race at the same time because it kind of dictates your position for the next race. Is what they start out in waves of. Is it 50 or 100? 50, right? Is what they do.
Yeah, 50.
So have you been practicing for the prologue at all for Erzberg, or what's your plans there or goal?
I mean, yeah, it's like you said, it's super important. It's not challenging in terms of
relativeness.
Yeah, it's not. It's just flat, wide open. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't really gotten a chance to practice that. But so yeah, I mean, it's been weighing on my mind for sure, like, because it's going to be fast and sketchy, and I need to do well, because if you're not in the first or at least second row, you're just might as well forget it in that race, because the first hill just gets packed with people. So
yeah, that's kind of what you see. And there's every row, there's a few more people clogging up all the good spots. And then not to mention when you start to actually get to the real challenging spots. I'm trying to think of what it's called. The washing machine. No, not the. I'm trying to think what that first one is where, I can't remember the names now, where they kind of it's like kind of a one line or maybe two line deal. And you got to almost kind of wait at the bottom until it's your turn, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
try to avoid all of that. But yep. Yeah, so just don't go pulling a Cody Webb on us and hurting your wrist or something. That was
yeah, exactly. Like he, same thing. Like he got a high speed get off, and it's definitely sketchy. So
yeah,
just gonna try to just be safe and be fast and do my best.
I will say though, so I was looking through the entries for the Enduro series, which anybody can do by just going online, type in Erzberg. And I figured out why you're so fast, Quinn. It's because your last initial is a W. I didn't realize this, how many fast dudes have the last name of W.
Quinn.
There's Quinn Wentzel, obviously, Cody Webb, Johnny Walker, and then Nathan Watson. And so I'm like, geez. And I kind of scanned through some of the other last names. I'm like, no, W's take the cake when it comes to being super fast.
Win.
Yeah.
W for win, absolutely.
It's a good stat.
So, and then Erzberg, and then we have Enduro Cross season coming up for too long, don't we?
Yeah, I actually don't really know what's going on with that. They talked about doing some rescheduling and stuff, and I don't know how well their situation's going. So it was supposed to start in July. For some reason, I don't know why, but yeah, they had it scheduled for starting in July, and I've heard some rumors that it's not going the best, but everybody's just kind of waiting around to see what's going on with that.
Huh. But scheduling conflicts aside, though, you still plan on competing in that series?
I mean, I had originally planned on it, but they originally scheduled over top of Tough Like Roar, I think Battle of the Goats, and like one other race that was on my schedule, and
Oh,
I'm
really?
just how dumb. I don't,
Yeah, there's quite a bit of overlap though of the competitors. So
yeah, because it's not like it's some series that the same competitors do. Like it's a lot of the top endurocross guys do the extreme stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know why they put themselves in that position. So after looking at that and looking at the logistics, I just kind of didn't, it wasn't really at the top of the priority list. So
yeah.
I figured if I can make a few, I will. But if not, then oh well.
And then you was it 2 weeks ago? Were you at the Enduro Fest? Is it in Nevada?
Yeah, I was out in Nevada for that race.
Was that a singular race or was it kind of a multi-race deal as well?
It was supposed to be a 4-race deal, but they ran long and it ended up being a 3-race deal. It's kind of like a knockout format.
Okay, in one day.
Yeah, it was all one day.
How'd that go for you? And is that part of the Hard Enduro series or is that kind of a one-off race?
That was on the AMA schedule for the enduro stuff. So
What?
yeah, it was on the series.
I missed that on my little calendar thing that I keep up with. Okay, so
But
how did you do?
I didn't do as good as I wanted to out there. I ended up with an 8th overall, but I really got my butt kicked by the altitude out there. I wasn't expecting it at all, and I drove 32 hours from my house Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got there Friday night. Woke up, raced Saturday morning, and I just had no time to get acclimated to it. And
Yeah, Ohio is
really,
not known for its high altitude, is it?
definitely not. We're pretty much like 800 feet or something, and so yeah, I just got out there and almost got sick from it. Got a bad headache and just wanted to lay down. And so first race was bad, and second race got a little better. And by the third race, I was back to myself again. I felt, I had time to be active in the altitude, and I got my best finish of the day. So that was a little rough. Wasn't too pumped on that, especially after coming off of a lot better performance at the rev limiter. I thought I should be up there with battling, in the top 4 or 5, but yeah, it is what it is.
So is the next Hard Enduro, is that the one in Idaho?
Let's see. I think, yeah, I want to say Idaho, and then Last Dog Standing in California. They're pretty close, I think. So, yeah.
Okay. So that should be. I don't have that one either. I am missing races on my schedule here. So awesome. And then of course anybody watching if you got questions for Quinn, feel free to chime in and ask away, and I'll pass that along to him. And then so I guess just the 2 West series is all you plan on doing, or the 2 West races, the one you already did in Portugal and then Erzberg.
Yeah, for now, that's all I had on the schedule. We talked about maybe going to Germany for the Getzen Rodeo in November, but it's all up in the air right now. It depends on how Erzberg goes, and really not too anxious to go back over there without my own equipment or the proper equipment, to be honest. So,
so was it in 2 weeks you got to Erzberg?
Yeah, that's coming up June 1st, so I'll be leaving here right after Memorial Day.
So that'll be a good test. And then so June 1st. So you're not giving yourself much time to really. Do you plan on doing any pre-rides over there or much like that prior to the actual race, or what's your kind of plan once you get over there?
Yeah, not really. Just kind of get over there and walk as much of the track as I can, and then you have 2 days. There's the prologue. You have like a Friday and Saturday. You have 2 chances at it. So I mean, that might be a decent warm up. But yeah, I don't know if there's really. I'll probably have some place to go warm up, kind of a hillside or whatever. But I would imagine, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. So I'll be just kind of diving right back into it again, but doing as much riding as I can at home before that.
Okay, and then for people that may not know, some of the other Americans that are going to be over there is, of course, Cody Webb, Colton Haker, is it Carvalth? Is that how you say his name? Do you know?
Yeah, Mitch Carvalth.
Mitch Carvalth. And then a lot of people may not know this name, but I've been listening to his podcast. His name's James Stearns. Have you heard of him, Quinn?
Yes.
So he does a pretty decent show called, I mean, not obviously not as good as Enduro Talk,
No,
right?
not
Yeah,
even
no,
close.
nowhere close. But no, he does actually. It's a very quality show called Inside Enduro. It's a podcast as well as a YouTube channel, and then it's pretty good follow on Instagram too. Inside Enduro. So James will be there, and then of course Ryan Sipes is kind of he's the, I guess, the celebrity guest this year for the Erzberg,
Yeah.
and so that'll be interesting. Of course, Cody gave a few tips, I think, for Supercross, and he did pretty well down in Hawaii last weekend. So maybe he can carry some of those tips over to Erzberg too. So that'll be kind of interesting for the Americans, because were you the only American in Portugal, or not Portugal, the whole country, but at XL Lagares?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was the only American in the country, but yeah, I was the only American in the race, for sure. As far as I know, I don't, unless there's maybe I didn't see any other Americans there, but definitely in the pro class.
Yeah, well, that was one thing. Like last year, they had nationality in the results, but none of that was the case for this year. It was just name and what bike you're riding. So I was like,
Yeah.
where's the countries? But because you had a few, I mean, there's some British there as well, and
French riders are evil.
and but a lot of Spanish, I would imagine, and then obviously Portuguese. So did you travel there by yourself, or did you have a companion with you?
Just my mom came with me, so it was just her and I, and so yeah.
So she could kind of help listen for you too, though, and try to help decipher things a little as well. You're not trying to do it all and race at the same time. That's I'm sure that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a help to have her there for sure. But as far as deciphering things go, yeah, I don't. It was pretty bad on both of our parts.
Well, how are you on your German for Austria?
I'm not. I'm horrible at it. I don't know anything. So
we need to get you.
Definitely knew more Spanish and Portuguese.
We need to get
German.
you a Rosetta Stone and for the airplane ride. So.
Yeah, that might help.
Yeah. So before we let you go, sponsors, you got any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely. Mostly first off, just like to thank my parents and stuff for the support and helping me get over to Europe and stuff. And my local shop here, Beaver Creek Cycle, Husqvarna, Via Rubber Tires, Moose Racing, Ryan Young Products, Hammer Nutrition, Stillwell Performance, SXS Skid Plates, FMF, Garnet Boots, Bulletproof Designs, Electron, XC Gear, probably forgetting a few, but yeah, just everybody who's helped support, support my racing and my trip overseas. Definitely a huge thanks to all of them.
Yeah. And then how old are you, Quinn?
I'm 24 right now. I turned 25 in June.
Oh, okay, right on. And then the other question is, how tall are you?
I am 6'3". Last time
you checked. Oh, okay. Well, I'm 36, and last time I checked, I was 6'3" as well. No, reason I asked that is because I got a kick out of the American Hard Enduro guys. Oh, this would have been before the Rev Limiter. I think you did a video with him, or you did you rode with him a bit, and I like how they compared you to they said you had spider monkey legs, and I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to ask you since how tall you are. So you're 6'3". Okay, and I think height is definitely your friend when it comes to this style of riding.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't trade my height for anything. It's definitely a huge advantage.
Absolutely. Well, Quinn, thank you. Best of luck in Erzberg. And quick question: how do you like the Electron carb? I got this from Justin.
I really like it. It's definitely better than the Kunis. Yeah, I think it adds a little bit more power to the bike and stuff. But yeah, I have them on both my Huskies and been definitely enjoying that. And so yeah, I would definitely recommend it for somebody who's looking to get rid of the stock setup.
That's kind of what I heard. And it helps you to fuel. Does it help with your fuel economy?
I don't know for sure, but I've definitely noticed since I got off the TX a while back that I had a stock carb on, and I got on the TU with this Electron. It's like night and day difference. Like I don't have to nearly fill up as much. So yeah, it might definitely help.
Excellent. Well, and then also if you want to follow Quinn, you can follow him on Instagram at Quinn QUINN _Wentzel WENTZEL, or you can just find him on Facebook, Quinn Wentzel. So Quinn, thank you for coming on. Sorry for taking up so much of your time, and do wish you the best of luck, and we'll be following you. All right.
Yeah, definitely. And no, I appreciate you having me, and looking forward to coming back.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks.
What?
Europe.
I'm
not going.
I like it. I've never been to Portugal. I went to Spain, and it was awesome because it was cheap. It was clean. We went to Barcelona is where we were, and it was awesome. And like I've been to London, and I've been to Paris, and it's kind of London especially. It's like going to an older version of New York.
Wow.
Right, where everybody still speaks English. You don't feel lost. Right, and when I travel, I kind of want to feel almost lost. Right, where you're trying to have to figure out what's going on. Maybe not if I'm trying to compete in a top level race, but that's why I went to Ecuador, and I really liked that because there nobody spoke English. It was dirt cheap, and but no, it's interesting. And like I'm going to Denmark here this summer, and the only reason I'm going there is because my brother lives there. But I'm like, okay, people speak English, super expensive. Like, there's nothing, you don't feel totally, I don't know. It's like being in kind of like expensive part of the U.S.
A lot of those people speak both. They'll speak whatever language their country they're in, and they'll speak English fluently.
Yeah. Well, the younger people do, not necessarily the older.
They have an advantage on you because they can talk about you and you don't know it.
Or if they don't want to talk to you, then they also don't know how to speak English, which I run it through quite a bit. I mean, because I'm obviously the American when I come up to people.
Yeah. Those European dirt bike races are crazy. You watch those YouTube videos; those things are crazy.
Yeah,
those guys have zero respect for machinery. I mean, they just throw them bikes around.
People would say that about hard enduros in general.
Yeah, well, Europe's nuts. They are just nuts over there. They ride hard.
Yeah, and that's when they listen to James Stern on Inside Enduro. He was talking specifically about Romania because he's done the Romaniacs. And he was like, "Yeah, it's Romania. You can ride wherever, you just go.
It's not like Springfield.
No, definitely not like Springfield.
Don't ride your bike to the supermarket.
Yeah, and then you might not be riding home, right? So, but I'm kind of curious how Austria is, if it's any kind of comparison. Romania is probably a little more further east, and so a little
Romania, not like old Russia.
Yeah,
and
so it's probably a fewer rules than what you have in Austria. So yeah, because that's what I was thinking whenever Quinn was saying, I'm not sure where I'll ride. I'm like, well, if it's anything like Romania, just go ride.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
we'll fix that later. And then but no, that's quite a trip. It's awesome that he has the opportunity to do that, and so
very cool.
And what I like about the Erzberg is everybody's there, right? It seems like it's, there's not a lot of races. Well, especially in the West, World Enduro. I still can't say it. World Enduro Super Series.
Yep.
You don't have okay, that's not true. You don't have any, like, for the whole season, American representation. Because a lot of my opinion, the reason why is a lot of the companies that are supporting those riders, KTM, Husqvarna, Sherco,
Gas.
Well, I'm trying to think gas, but I don't know of any top level gas riders, which is odd.
Thorn Devlin.
Well, that's here in the U.S. though. I'm talking about
right,
I'm talking about out there.
Yeah.
Right. Like send Thorn out there, I guess. But for the most part, like you don't have, like they have. So Sherco, they have Wade Young, and they have the guy that won last weekend, Mario Roman, right? So they have those. They're not going to be bringing the American Sherco guys. They already got 2 guys out there.
Yeah.
Right. KTM, Johnny Walker, Taddy Bluzuziak. They're not going to be bringing in.
Don't need any of them. Don't need any Americans.
They pay Cody Webb to race here in the United States, right?
Yep.
But I really want Cody Webb out there. Like, let's do a trade, right? Send Taddy here. We'll send Cody Webb out there because I want to see how he does in against the top of the top.
That'd be cool.
Same with Colton Haker, right? So they got Graham Jarvis and Alfredo Gomez. They're not going to be sending Colton Haker and who's the other Husqvarna? And it might just be Colton here in the U.S. for that stuff. They're not going to be. Obviously, the Erzberg is the exception to all of that, and that's why I get a kick out of the Erzberg every year is because everybody's there, right? So,
be cool.
It's going to be cool.
You need to go.
Yeah.
Just sign up and be vet.
We'll put it a GoFundMe. And then
we'll take Jeff Ott.
Yeah. So that'll be quite an experience for Quinn. Hope he can absorb and not just get too caught up in the race and just take into that trip and just
be awesome.
The opportunity. So that's awesome. Good luck to you, Quinn. We're rooting for you here. This weekend's racing. Are you going to be anywhere racing this weekend or riding, or what's your plans?
I'm out. I'm down. I got a boo-boo on my knee.
Yes.
I got to let it heal a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple weeks.
He has a pretty purple spot on his knee.
It's
rock?
Cool.
Is that what it was?
It was a Chadwick surgeon got me.
Surgeon.
A rogue surgeon got me on the trail.
They don't make very smooth cuts, do they?
No, they make jagged, nasty cuts.
Well, there is plenty of racing if you're in the area and you want to be doing it.
Yeah. I was going to go race the Arkansas Hare Scramble Series this weekend, but
you were?
I was going to.
Try to throw it in with James King, show him what's up?
No. The King is fast.
He is.
He's super fast.
So we got a comment here from Justin again saying the whole they started the whole Sprint Enduro series. Nope, not sure what this is saying here. It's very different in Europe. Justin, I'm sorry. Okay, the whole way they started.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. The Sprint Enduro series. Really? Okay, so no, here in the U.S., that does make a lot of sense. So the 6-day Enduro, right, is something that lately. Well, that's not completely true. We've had very good experience. So maybe that's why Ryan Sipes has done so well at it. It really is run kind of like a combination of the transfers. We're talking about 6-day Enduro now, which is actually going to be in Portugal this year. So how it kind of works is you got these long ass transfers, right? And then you do these super fast sprints. And James King was kind of walking us through it when he was on. And so that's kind of like doing a Sprint Enduro with like a 40-mile transfer.
Yep.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense is how in Europe or here doing the Sprint Enduro could actually do a pretty good job of kind of preparing us, especially because there tends to be a lot more grass track at the ISDE, whereas here in the U.S. we tended to not do a lot of grass track. But if you look at 6 days, a lot of grass track, right? So that makes a lot of sense there, Justin. Good thoughts there, and thank you for sharing that with us. But so speaking of Sprint Enduros, though, there is a Sprint Enduro over in Oklahoma this weekend. It's a co-sanction between the the Okie Sprint
Okie Sprint.
and the Blackjack. And yet again, another race I'm going to be missing for the Blackjack. So that'll be my, third drop out of 3 that I can have for this season.
Well, you're done dropping then.
I am. So I'm going to be in North Carolina this weekend. So yeah, they got those 2 races, the Golden Eagle. So that should be a good time out there. It's Saturday, Sunday, but I believe for the Blackjack, I shouldn't speak, but I'm going to say it. Go online and verify this don't take what I'm saying for Bible. But I believe Blackjack's only counts for Sunday, but it's usually Okie Sprints are Saturday and Sunday. Another race that's going on is the Moore Thayer Extreme. So that's going to be round 1 of the Moore.
Yep, opening round.
Have you raced many of the Moores?
I raced one up in Panther Creek.
Panther Creek, yeah. It's a good place.
It was slimy.
Oh, yeah. I think I was at that. It was 2 years ago or so.
Yeah, it was raining, and my bike smelled like a barn when I got home.
There's horses.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a kind of a dude ranch.
Yeah, they transferred us through that field, or they spread all the manure out. It was bad. My bike was stinking up my trailer.
Well, I like that property. It's an awesome place. And then so the Moors is, I think. I'm gonna miss Thayer because that's this week, and I'm gonna be in North Carolina. But I think I'm gonna do the Blackjacks, and then they outside of this week, and I don't think they overlap much. And so I'm looking forward. I'm planning on racing a decent amount of the Moors, maybe try to compete in the series minus this first race. And then what you were mentioning here, Arkansas Hare Scramble,
Sturkey Road
is racing this weekend at Sturkey Road, and then of course OMA, they're having their second round, and then. I have a link on my Facebook with people. I'm going to share here with you kind of what it looks like. And I got to obviously update this. It's a little outdated, but if you're watching, you can see it here. So what I do, you can kind of see all the area races and then some of the, helps again, the right window. So what I did is over on one side, I have the Hillbillies, the Missouris, the Blackjacks, the Moore, the Forward Motion, the Arkansas Cross Country, the OMAs, the Okie Sprints, and the Arkansas Hare Scramble Series. All that's a lot. I spent way too much time putting it together.
And you got the HBGP at the top.
Well, that's the number 1 series.
It is the most important one.
Got to put it at the top,
you
right?
You do. It is. It's the one.
And then the National Series. Apparently, I'm obviously way outdated on my American Hard Enduro Series, the National Enduro, the GNCC, the Sprint Enduros, the National Hare and Hounds, the Big 6, which I think they had a name change. That's a West Series. Works, and then the Enduro Cross Series, which obviously I probably need to update too, according to Quinn.
Yep.
So there's a ton of information. There's a link on this on my Facebook. If you go to Y Rush Racing, you'll find it. You might have to scroll down a bit to actually find it, but trust me, it's there. I may have posted it once or twice, and I'll probably after this show post it again just to help people.
I actually found it the other day when you mentioned
You found this?
Yes, I actually did, and I'm not computer literate, so there you go. I found it. You can find it.
Yeah. And then so with that, you can go in here and say, oh, hey, the John Pinton, that's this weekend. Yep. So go Stu Baylor. I'm rooting for you. Well, I'm rooting for everybody. But I've always been a Stu Baylor fan, and love to see him on the top step of XC1. And then of course all the other races we've mentioned. So that's what's going on.
Sounds like fun.
So
where are you racing? You're not.
I'm North Carolina. I might get on a bicycle. I'm trying to convince my wife to go mountain biking.
North Carolina is awesome.
We're going to Asheville, and so
I've been there. It's cool.
I've been there too. It's going to be it's a memorial for my grandmother, so it's not all sunshine and flowers or whatever, but it's going to be a good time. Looking forward to it and get to see a lot of family I haven't seen in many years. So won't be racing, but I'll be having a good time. My brother, he's actually in Washington D.C. right now for work. He normally is in Denmark, and so I'll actually get to meet up with him. So that's 2 thumbs up there. And
it's a beautiful place, North Carolina.
Oh yeah,
Asheville's beautiful.
Looking forward to it. So I'll have a full report for you guys when I get back. And so that's what's going on. Let's make sure I haven't missed anything here. And I think no, I have NEP. No, Justin, I do have NEPG and the GNCC. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. Sorry if I'm not on the same page. But anyways, Chris, anything else you got? You want to shout out to your
Side
sponsors?
down.
What now? Keep the rubber side down.
Rubber side down. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shout out to Dirty Bob, or Side by Side Bob, as I like to call him. You need to go buy stuff at Dirt Bikes Unlimited.
Oh, absolutely.
Dirty Bob is awesome.
Dirt bike Bob or
Dirty Bob. Or if you want to get on his good side, you walk in there and you say, "What's up, Side by Side Bob?"
I'm guessing that's not.
That does not work.
Does not work. Okay, don't do that. No, that's absolutely true. So,
Yep.
you know, I've said this before. I'll say it again.
You go see Logan.
Support any of these guys
All of
before you go support Rocky Mountain ATVMC.
them. Yeah.
Right.
Evil Empire.
Motorsport, all those guys. They're awesome, you know, as far as like they have this stuff on the line, but guess what? Bob at Dirt Bikes Unlimited can get all that same exact stuff, right? Pretty much the same price. And so, you know, the thing that Bob has anybody has tough time competing with, but if you look around a lot of these shops, it's tires. I mean,
that's what you need is tires.
And so, but you shop around, you can find locally tires at a good price. I guarantee you that. Don't hit the easy button.
No, go see Bob.
Go shop, support those who support us.
Even if you don't want to buy nothing, just go in there and he'll make fun of you.
Yeah, you know, that's what I love. I was there last week, and there's always somebody there that's just there to shoot the shit, you know?
That's me.
and usually I'm in the middle of my work day, and so I'm like, all right, trying to move in, move out. Chris never orders. So is that true, or?
Unfortunately, it's not true. I do order some.
Oh, I do.
I just get busy. I love Bob, but I get busy.
Yeah.
So sometimes things slip through.
Yeah.
But I try to go see Bob.
And he's super friendly, super nice.
And Dirksen keeps his bike up there, so you can go in there and mess with it usually.
And so just, you know, let him know you're a racer and whatnot, and just strike up a conversation. And
try to adjust his clickers.
Yeah, there you go. I haven't gone in the back. They keep me out of that back room.
Yeah, they keep me out of there now too.
No, too. I like that. So
yeah, he's a good one.
Anyways, this is Charlie Hawkins. That's Chris Heaven, and this is Enduro Talk. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.